think Joel's going to be joining here shortly. And let's just see if we're getting any live feeds coming in. Okay, I see it on Twitter, so that's good. We're figuring that out. Well, I guess we can kick things off. Welcome to the this is the Verse Lunar New Year campaign walkthrough, playthrough. We got developers including Mark, Paul, and I think we'll even have Joel on our product team joining, where we're gonna hang. We're gonna talk a little bit about all the cool stuff that the team have been working on related to Verse Lunar New Year and some of the campaigns that we've got. So for those first-time viewers, Bitcoin.com and Verse, we're basically in bed together. So Verse is the native reward and utility token of Bitcoin.com. We've got a Verse decentralized exchange, which allows anyone to trade crypto without permission, without KYC. And it's also baked into the wallet app. Of course, the Bitcoin.com wallet app has over 47 million wallets at this point. So you can see a quick little preview of my wallet screen here. And yeah, it allows anyone to connect to the Verse Explorer, which is our Web3 browser. Of course, you can also access some other cool features in here, including our Earn feature, where you can use our decentralized exchange liquidity pools and farms. And yeah, it's a great little tool for anyone kind of interested in the opportunities available for DeFi. So, of course, for new users, Bitcoin is the OG. It's the orange coin. It's the original gangster. And but there's a bunch of other cryptocurrencies out there, and Bitcoin.com supports Bitcoin, Ethereum, Polygon, Avalanche, Bitcoin Cash, Binance Smart Chain, and who knows, we may add more chains in the future. But what we've been doing for the last few months here is just expanding support for Verse on more chains, making sure that we've got some low-fee chains where people can use Verse and do some fun things. One of the cool things with Bitcoin in the old days was that you could use it for pretty much anything. Sadly, like a lot of the fees have gotten high, where a lot of people have now begun development of new tech and new dApps on other chains. Oh, someone's calling me. Jason. Sorry, man. Gotta go away. Hang on. I'm putting mute on my computer here, guys. Hang on. Stand by for do not disturb for 1 hour. There we go. All right. So, yeah, a lot of folks have been developing new things on new tech, and we've been doing the same thing. So we've added Verse onto Polygon, which is a low-fee L2, rolls up onto Ethereum via some sort of Validium. Mark, maybe you can explain that a little bit more to the users, but let's get into the meat of it. So first off, we got Joel here. Joel, welcome. Welcome, friend. Well, let's do an intro first, maybe before we start walking through the product. Yeah, what's tell us your name, tell us what you do. Joel, start with you.
Hi, my name is Joel. So I take care of the product on the Verse team. So I'm product manager on the Verse team. Everything related to product delivery and delivering value to the user. That's on me. Yep, been here close to 2 years and really enjoying my time here.
Awesome. Happy to have you on the stream, man. We're streaming on 3 platforms today. This is the most we've ever streamed on. We're on YouTube and Twitter, and we're even on the Facebook. So that'll be fun. Mark, do you want to introduce yourself?
Sure. So I'm Mark. I'm an engineer. I mainly work on the DeFi related stuff. So like the Scratcher project, like the upcoming NFT project. I've been with Bitcoin for, I think in total 2 years. I used to work the games team. But as I said, now it's just like DeFi related stuff. And yeah, pretty much all things Verse.
And last but not least, we've got Paul. Paul is our Anon. Paul is not his real name, but Paul is Paul. Paul will always be Paul.
I've got a great face for radio.
Introduce yourself, Paul.
Hi, I'm Paul. I've been with Bitcoin.com, coming on 6 years now. So almost as long as Corbin.
Yeah.
I'm working on the Burst team now. I'm a tech lead. Mainly do web, front end, but also do a little bit of back end, and have dabbled in the apps a little bit, but mainly web.
He's modest as well, because he's also been doing some smart contract work as well. I've seen him tinkering on another NFT project related to some of the game stuff that we've been building. So he's
that's a secret though.
Yeah. Well, we can leak things, man. We're serial leakers on stream.
Let's do it.
There's no rules. There's no rules. Cool. So let's do a quick walkthrough. I mean, maybe first off, before I guess I'll share my screen here. This for everyone who has never seen Verse. This is the Verse homepage. You go to verse.bitcoin.com. This is the decentralized exchange for Verse, and it's also the DEX of Bitcoin.com. So if you connect via the Verse Explorer into from the wallet app, you'll access this area. And we currently have a Lunar New Year campaign going on. You can also access all the other dApps from like the Scratcher and Burn Engine and Swap, Pools, Farm, Staking. Just some great tools for any crypto user to access and start earning crypto through the power of DeFi. But maybe for context, some of us, some of our viewers perhaps are not in Asia, have no idea what the significance of Lunar New Year is. Maybe give us the rundown. Maybe Joel, you probably can give us the play-by-play better than all of us idiots.
Well, the big idea is that it's a very important day for a lot of us in Asia. It's a time where we come together as a family and friends to celebrate a new year. So it's our version of January 1st or Christmas Day. Everyone comes together. There's lots of food, gifts exchange, and having a good time with friends and family. So it lasts about 7 days are the first 7 days are most intensive, and the whole period lasts about 15 days or so. So it's a nice fun time for us in Asia.
Yeah, it's very fun. It's a good time to eat a lot, kind of relax. Some people drink a little. There's often karaoke and some red letters or red envelopes that get given away as kind of good luck money. And we've decided to celebrate the Lunar New Year as an opportunity to kind of invite folks to win up to $888, which is going to be distributed as a prize pool to the top 25 players of our Verse Clicker game. Now, the Verse Clicker game was built by Paul and his team, and it's kind of a fun way to just kind of casual game. Maybe I'll let Paul explain what is Clicker and where did the idea come from, and maybe explain how it ties into some of the cool stuff that we're doing.
Well, Clicker is essentially a clone of the OG cookie clicker. And it's basically just an idle game where you click a button to get points in our clicker version. And then you use those points to buy tools, which automatically click the click. And then they earn you more points, and use those points to purchase more tools, and then you can get some upgrades for your tools. So it's this never-ending cycle of earning points and spending points to get more points. So it's a pointless game, but it's a bit of fun.
As most games are. I mean, what game is not a little pointless, right? They're all fun.
So this was actually, we had a hackathon, internal hackathon with Bitcoin.com mid last year. And my team, we came up with this because we're trying to think of something outside of the box, something different to what we'd normally do with cryptocurrencies. So we came up with this. It doesn't really have any on-chain functionality yet, or critics. But basically it ties in all our other products. So if you go into Scratcher and you play the game of Scratcher, then you can get rewarded points within the game, within the Clicker game, to advance your level on the leaderboard and get you more points. and we tied that into like holding verse and burning verse as well, and we've got some other ideas of how we can tie it in as well.
Yeah. So I think it's a casual game, but it is one of those ones that you can kind of check in on every once in a while. So if you are kind of an office drone, maybe you're updating your spreadsheet and then you're like taking a sip of coffee, you open up the tab and you can take a peek to see what kind of points you're sitting on, and then you get to pay for upgrades. So for instance, I think I'm sitting on a big chunk of, I've earned a total of 19.2 billion points by just casually clicking and upgrading my tools. But you can see we've got like Lunar mouse clicker, which upgrades your points per click. But then you can also automate the clicks via these automation bots, and they're like upgraded bots that click for you. So I don't have any of the time loop workshop, which is a workshop where time loops indefinitely allow workers to endlessly click, and it increases the 280k clicks per second each, and then you can just start accumulating more and more of those. So you can see I just spent some of my points, and of course I already have a bunch. So you can see here I've got like 48. Actually, you might not be able to see on the screen, but maybe I can zoom in here. I've got 48 of these lantern assembly lines, and I've got 40 red paper mills. And if I go in, I can upgrade, specific tools to give them even stronger points production. And then that gives me a higher chance at climbing the leaderboard and earning a chunk of that $888. So yeah, you can see I am nowhere to be found on the leaderboard. I'm not very good at this game. Paul has made it a little too difficult for dumb guys like me. But there's apparently a lot of other people that are quite impressive. They've surpassed already 1 trillion points. Maybe you could explain for new people who are maybe just thinking about joining to try to take some of this bag. How does the new joiners participate, and how do they catch up? What's the fastest way to kind of get going, get back in the leaderboard?
First up, hold some verse, because it multiplies each click by 8, each manual click by 8. So hold some verse. We set up the clicker campaign. So if you've got verse on Ethereum or on Polygon, the game will actually detect it as long as you're connected to the same address. So as long as you hold verse, any amount, you get like 8 times your clicks. If you've got over 1 million verse, join the lounge, because then that will actually unlock all the tools and all the upgrades for you to see, to strategize yourself for when you're actually like playing the game itself. As for strategies, I'm actually a bit of a noob at the game myself. I'm a very casual OG cookie clicker player. That's a lot more complicated, but the strategy is the more expensive the building, the more expensive the tool, the more points you're going to earn per second. So try and get the more expensive ones to boost your score production, and that'll get you up. All the upgrades.
So don't spend so I shouldn't be spending my points on red paper mill, because that's like a peasant tier bot. I want to go for a galactic trade hub or like some of the more higher value.
Well, you need to math it out.
Got it.
So when you're looking at the more expensive ones, they're going to cost you more points, but they're also going to earn you more points. But each time you purchase a tool, the price for the next tool, it actually multiplies and increases. So after a certain amount of tools that you own, it's actually more beneficial to buy the cheaper tools, because you're going to be able to get more of them to earn more points, if that makes sense.
For sure.
And then all the upgrades, they're all tied to particular tools, and each upgrade, it doubles the point production of each of those tools. So upgrades are definitely worth buying. Because you can only own one of each of those upgrades, but as soon as you own it, it doubles your point production for that particular tool. Alternatively, if you want to earn like points really quickly, we've actually added 2 bonuses for this one: the Scratcher Buy and the Scratcher Claim. If you buy a Lunar New Year Scratcher from Mark's project, it will actually, every scratcher you purchase, it will increase your point production by 1%. So Corbin here has bought 2 scratchers. Your screen's a bit blurry. Does that say one?
I'm at 2 scratchers. That's correct.
Okay, so we bought 2 scratchers. So the more scratchers you buy, the more points you're going to earn passively. So that's a way to jump up the leaderboards. And then if you claim your scratchers, so if you scratch your scratcher and then claim your scratcher prize, we've set up a little bit of an equation here because the prizes are quite extreme. It goes from 100 bursts to, what is it, 888,000?
8,888,000.
8 million. So to make this a little bit fair, we introduced this equation. I won't go into details, but you will get some points based upon the amount of points that you're claiming with your scratcher. So it's a bit of game theory here, but I think a good strategy for this would be to buy all your scratchers at the beginning of the campaign, get your point production multiplier up as high as percentage as you possibly can. And then once you're actually earning lots of points, then claim your scratchers, because then you're going to actually receive even more points, because it's based upon what your production rate is, if that makes sense.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Cool. Okay, well, I think maybe what we can do is pass the mic over to our friend Mark. I managed to secure some verse on Polygon. We can do some live scratches here on this little live stream and kind of show people how this works. But maybe Mark, you can give us the play-by-play on how this works. Explain to folks listening in, what is the verse scratch and win? How is it built? Give us the technical background. Give us the chances and odds, and explain how this all kind of came to be.
Yeah, it's kind of like similarly to like the Clicker project. There was like an internal hackathon where we tried figuring out like what's something that's interesting for like our users, like kind of like easy to use. I think like the reason we built like Scratch, or like Scratch tickets, that's basically what they are, is because it's like an interesting use case to do on chain, because users can purchase the tickets using Verse, but the whole system, like everything we build, is like fully on chain. So it goes to like Chainlink, it gets like a random number, so like a number between 1 and 1,000, and that number is set to a certain price. So for example, like in this specific one, in the Lunar New Year, if you draw number 88, that's like the jackpot. So your chance of getting a jackpot is like about like 1 in 1,000. And then we have like other prizes. We have like 100K you can win, and then we have like we can have a minimum price. So every time you buy a ticket, you have like a guaranteed price. But yeah, like initially we made a scratcher, I think it was like 1 month ago, maybe like 2 months ago, where we kind of made the initial run. It was like astronaut themed. There's actually also like one of the things with this scratchers is like if you buy a ticket, it's also like an NFT. So like you can see in your wallet, you can see like the image, like we have 10 different images. So every time you buy a scratcher, they have like a different design, or like we have 10 different designs. But yeah, basically like how it works is you purchase your ticket. Right now they're about 22,000 verse. Then it takes about like 30 seconds for the blockchain to confirm. So that's for Chainlink to give us like a random number, and then for us to process that into like an image. So you have like a server that takes this number, we know what the price is, and it generates like the scratch image. And then the user can just go into their browser or into their mobile app, and they can actually like scratch it. So either with your mouse, you can like hover over like the little foil things, or like on your mobile phone, you can use your fingers to scratch them. But yeah, as you can see, like right now, like you can either like purchase one ticket, or you can purchase like 10 at a time. Something we improved like the previous version, where you had to purchase one ticket at a time, and there were users that actually purchased like 100 tickets one by one. So yeah, that's like one of the improvements that we made. So I think Corbin is trying to purchase a ticket now.
Sorry, I think I muted myself. During the ClickMiss campaign, I I spent a lot of money on on these clickers, man. It was I spent a lot of verse. It was one way to definitely like boost my ability to climb the leaderboard faster. So yeah, kind of a fun way to spam your way to the top. But you do, it's kind of like you can spend to get more points. You can spend to, you know, potentially win more verse, and then you're in a pretty cool place. I just realized I'm actually connected to the wrong chain right now, so I'm just hopping over to Polygon. I'm gonna do a quick refresh here.
Yeah, I think right now we have like 10 different designs. My personal favorite is the cat. I think you can see on like a homepage, like you have like a pink cat.
There we go. Okay, so I just spent the what's the total amount? How much does it cost to mint a scratch and win?
It's 22,000 to mint a ticket, and then as you see right now, like the screen that you're currently on, it means that your transaction is successful, and on the bottom you see like the seconds, and those are kind of like the seconds it takes for Chainlink to get the random number and to communicate it like back to us. So it always takes about like 20 seconds to deliver a order, but it's just to ensure that we don't know what the ticket is going to be like. It's like fully on chain. It's fully random. Like it can be verified.
Nice. Cool. Well, let's do an inaugural scratching. So you can see I've been dabbling. Let's say, you know, these were some of the Spaceman ones. You can see I've collected a few. I actually had a few decent winners. But yeah, so once you've got the NFT, this is now in my wallet. Of course, the DApp application is displaying the assets that are inside the wallet that I'm connected to. And if I go over to Scratch Ticket, you can see I can go in and begin the scratching process. Now, anyone familiar with the whole idea of scratch and win tickets is, yeah, you scratch these little fun things. If they're not available in your country, I feel sorry for you. They're very fun, very addictive. And yeah, you basically just scratch through all of these little pieces, and then you're set.
Yeah. So just to clarify, you need to get the same number 3 times. That's kind of like the thing. So you have like eight fields, and if you get the same number 3 times, you'll win the prize that's attached to it. Like there's a guaranteed win. You always win something, but you don't know what you're gonna win.
So I don't know are you guys seeing my screen? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. It seems like as soon as I start screen sharing, it doesn't let my mouse work. But I can
that's actually yeah, that's true.
Hang on, I'm gonna go over here, and then I can scratch, and then it lets me scratch when I'm not screen sharing. I think it's the recording software that we're using here. I think it must be like jacking into my browser a bit. So I'm gonna scratch over here, and we'll see how far I get, and then I'll screen share my results once it's done scratching. Okay, I can see I've got 12,000, I've got 100,000, I've got a 10,000, I've got another 10,000, I got another 10,000. I think that means I won 10,000 verse. Now, do the math for me, Mark. What just happened here?
You lost 12,000. That's what happened.
So this wasn't a winning ticket, but it feels like, well, I won at least some of my money back. So right now what just happened is that was like an on-chain event that's being tracked. So correct me if I'm wrong, but in the Flickr...
So basically, like the moment you scratch your ticket and you see like your prizes, you can immediately claim that onto your wallet. So like the money, like upfront, we loaded a bunch of money into a smart contract so that we can kind of like give that money immediately to the users. So if you see that you've won like 12,000, you click one button, it does an on-chain transaction, and then it sends money directly into your wallet. So you don't really need to do anything else for it.
So you can see I'm already, my points production has increased by simply buying the scratch ticket. But if I go here now and perform this on-chain transaction to actually claim the funds, which means I'm pulling the 1,000 verse on Polygon back into my wallet, that on-chain transaction gets picked up by the game, and then the game gives you a little bit of a boost, so you can increase your chances of climbing that leaderboard further. And then what's cool about this is I can, I put in enough in here that I can do a couple scratch and wins, but you can see 1,000 verse has been secured, so I can go I can go back and either mint more tickets or view my collection. But yeah, and yeah, you can still mint the cheaper ones as well. So we do still have space expeditions. This one's a lot cheaper if
Yeah, I have one on my phone. Maybe I can show the one that's on. I'm not sure if I can see it on camera really well.
Yeah,
but I have like one right here. I can basically scratch it. Am I in the field? I have no idea how I'm doing. So this collection is like a bit different because it's like it's cheaper, so it's like about 3,000 instead of like 22,000 verse, but the prices are also like a lot lower. So like Lunar New Year, like the main price is like, I think it's like more than $3,000 if I say that correctly. But yeah, both collections are currently up there.
So yeah, you can see my points production has now been increased. I was able to receive 7.3 billion points that I can now use to spend for more upgrades to try to climb that leaderboard even higher. But yeah, what's cool about that is we did give users the ability as well to, like, if you mint these scratching wins, they do have a chance at winning 8,888,888 verse, which is worth, like Mark said, somewhere around $3,000 right now. Of course, you can use that verse to do whatever you want. You can play games with it. You can fund it as a liquidity pool provider. You can swap it into other assets from Ethereum to Bitcoin to Matic to whatever. And yeah, you can kind of use crypto any way you want. Yeah, I guess maybe what we could do is ask some questions from that I've got here. I just kind of outlined a few here. I guess, what do you guys see as like the challenging parts as developers building games using crypto or using decentralized finance? Like, open mic, whoever wants to take that.
Should I go first?
Do it up, man.
So I think that the challenging thing is that it's kind of like asynchronous, because like for a lot of like the games you need like a source of randomness, and like for us we use like Chainlink VRF because it's like, we know it's like secure, but it's not something where you can get like an instant. Let's say you were building like a slot machine, for example. You would want to have that randomness up front, and you can kind of like let the user keep spinning and spinning. But on blockchain, you don't really have like true randomness unless you connect to like an oracle. And unfortunately, that causes kind of like a delay because you need to request that randomness. So like for me, like in order to bring it to like the next step, you would want to have a way where you can immediately have that randomness available to you, and then you can have the user do way more things. And then the second one is like the kind of like the approval flow that we have right now in Ethereum, where if you want to spend your verse or like any ERC20 token, like you need to approve it first or like sign with the permit method, which is kind of like from a UX point of view, it's not great. Like also it's like hard to explain to the user, like, okay, you have to approve your funds first, then you need to move like Matic into your wallet. It's a multi-step process. Yeah. So I think the UX side, there's a lot of things that hopefully in the next couple of years, like Ethereum will kind of like move away from the current flow, and
yeah, I think that's a good point. Like, I think for folks that are used to different types of, say, like just casual games that are not on chain, if you're using like full custodial crypto games, you typically have a little bit more like high reactivity. You don't have to do a lot of like signing transactions and things like that, but you are basically foregoing your rights to your funds when you deposit them into a custodial game, and you're basically trusting that game to not rug you, to not take all the money and run away with it. Whereas the DeFi first gaming model has some little user experience clunkiness that I think a lot of the crypto devs and wallets are still trying to improve upon for the average user, but it does ensure that the funds only leave your wallet when you approve them and when you give permission to use them, which I think is still a good step in the right direction from just being like self-custody first, which is of course what the Bitcoin.com wallet is. And I think the things that we're building on Verse are all DeFi first, using smart contracts, using all the cool tech that is available in cryptocurrency right now, and just trying to make it as easy as possible for anyone to come in and play around. Now, we've provided some great support articles. Our support team as well is available to help. Like Paul had mentioned as well, we do have the Verse Lounge, And if you have 1 million verse, whether that's on Ethereum or on Polygon or deposited across Verse Dex LP pools and farms, if you're like a really hardcore DeFi user, you can come join the Verse Lounge on Telegram and come hang with us. We're all hanging in there. We've got our dev team in there. It's kind of our like private exclusive club for anyone holding 1 million verse, which is like, I think it's worth maybe $320, $340 worth of verse will get you access to kind of hanging with the team. We answer a lot of people's questions and just kind of like, take feedback from people. We do tend to like release some early projects and let people play around with things a little earlier before we release them to the public. But it's a great way for, to just come hang with our community of Bitcoin.com developers and Verse developers and Verse holders and Verse users. And yeah, it's a fun experience. Joel, maybe you can talk a little bit about the web integration of Verse Lounge too, and how that ties into the governance and voting model that's been built around Verse.
Cool, yeah. So if you visit the Verse Dex today, so verse.bitcoin.com, and sign in with your wallet, if you hold more than 1 million Verse, you will have access to the Verse Lounge. So that's on Corbin's screen share right now. So in the Verse Lounge, we have several things that we want to showcase to our community. So the first being the Telegram exclusive Telegram group that we have, that Corbin mentioned. We also have a section below which talks about our ongoing community votes. So I believe there are 2 community votes that are live today. The first being one to decide on the cadence of the Verse Clicker contest, and a second to decide on a ledger integration, a proposed ledger integration. So community members who are part of the Verse Lounge will be able to vote on these proposals directly through the Verse Lounge with the Verse that they hold in their wallet. So the voting is really simple. Just connect your wallet to the Verse Dex, enter the Verse Lounge, and click your option that you prefer. So it's voting can be done in 2 to 5 clicks. We also have a section following that showcases what's coming next in our ecosystem. So if you're interested in keeping up to date with the Verse ecosystem and what we are going to be released next, we have a sneak peek section in there to give a hint on what's coming. And the last few sections are around partner discounts that we have. Our BD team has established with other Web3 parties, and a partner showcase down below. So hop into the Verse Lounge and join us in there. This will be the best place where you can keep updated with what's going on in your ecosystem and make your voice heard with voting.
Yeah. So any of the products that are included in that will be released across the Verse ecosystem are typically going to be teased out within the Verse Lounge, both in the Telegram channel, but also here on the website. So, things like discounts, things like new features, things like new proposals that come out, it's a great way to just hop in and kind of see what we're working on and what the team's working on. If you want to interact with the team as well, the Telegram channel's there. We pin things like the latest news and the latest updates as well. But you do have to hold 1 million Verse to access this private area. And this will be the go-to destination for early access to the Verse card. We've teased this out in some other Verse spotlight calls and some other YouTube discussions and stuff like that. But Verse will have a crypto card that allows you to spend your crypto, but you will have to be a Verse holder to participate in this fun feature. Maybe I can pass the mic over to Mark. We've got the governance vote online now for Verse NFT collection name, which invites users to help us name the Verse NFT that we've been working very hard on. We've got a few different names available, but maybe if you'd like, we could show. I think we can show this video. I hope the audio will come through, and then. You can kind of walk us through what we're looking at and how this Verse NFT feature is coming along, since this is something that you've been hard at work building. So let me see if this will play without a YouTube ad popping up, but we'll see. Buffering. Vietnamese internet!
Oh, that's a good teaser.
Hang on, we'll give it a little second to buffer. I got it on HD, and we're probably uploading as well. I'm scaling down to 720, or I don't think this thing's ever going to load. Oh, man. Live demos. Should have had this buffered in advance, right, guys? Jeez. Amateur hour. There we go. You get the point. We'll put the link in the description somewhere else, but
can we give away the mechanics already, or is that too early?
Dude, give away the mechanics. Yeah, we're leaking stuff. We're a pro leak live stream here, man. Share whatever you got.
All right. So basically, it's basically you purchase a character, and similar to like the scratch tickets, it connects to like a source of randomness. So you use like Chainlink VRF to randomly get traits. But in this version of what we're building, it's kind of like a slot machine where first you spin and you get like a helmet. So you get like a specific helmet with a specific rarity. Then you spin again and then you get like the body of your character. So you do like 6 different spins on like a slot machine and you can like build your character. So if you don't like any of the parts, so for example, you have like a helmet that you don't like, you can respin like that specific trait. So the idea is that you can like improve your character and then use that character in like the diverse ecosystem. But yeah, that's basically in short what it is.
Yeah, and I guess, you should maybe mention that there will be a cost to respin. It's not like you get to just, pick your own character indiscriminately and like, spin for free forever. There is a fee and
yeah. So the way we're looking at it now, so it's still like in development, so like things can change. But like the first respin will be free, so you can kind of choose from any trait that you want. You can say, okay, I don't like the wallpaper or the helmet or whatever, and you can just like respin it once for free. And then there's like a cost attached to like the respin. So the cost will depend on how often you've respawned. So like the first time will be really cheap, second time cheap, third time, like build its way up there. But yeah, it shouldn't be too crazy to like build like a cool character. Like we've done some internal testing and I think they look really good.
They look cool, yeah. And I mean, yeah, if you want to check out the vote and check out the video, go over to verse.bitcoin.com. You can access the lounge. You can also just vote. Even if you don't have a million verse, you can still participate in the votes with less. You just have to go to snapshot.com, I believe, and then find the verse.
Do you remember how many traits we have? Like it's some ridiculous amount. Like we have like 6.
Yeah, I think.
Well, we have like 6 different traits, but then there's also like depending on if you were like on an early sale, you might get like a special. So there's like a lot of different options available.
Yeah, I think if you participated in the token sale, there's a few special traits reserved for folks that participated in the Verse token sale. And then, yeah, I believe in total we can generate up to, like, I think over 1 million NFTs programmatically random. So, like, a huge rarity set across the NFT space. But there's going to be, like, only 10,000 of these NFTs that are ever able to be minted. Now, there's going to be some reserved for the token sale participants. However, we are opening up this NFT. This was voted on by the community to open up the NFT to more people, to invite more people to come into Verse and hold a Verse NFT. And we may as well, add some additional utility to these NFTs in the future. But short term, if you do want to re-roll a trait or, have a few different types of characters, you can spend more Verse to try to get a character that is more pleasing to your eye. It's very subjective. So you might get cool angel wings, but if angel wings aren't really your vibe and you want a gun, you can keep respinning until maybe you get a gun, but you're probably gonna have to pay to do that. And then, Paul, what do you think we will do with all the money we make off of these respins? What happens to all the Verse we make?
That's a good question.
You're supposed
Oh, we're gonna burn it.
Yeah, man, we're gonna burn it. So maybe I can explain the burn engine. Actually, you know what? Maybe Paul should explain the burn engine, because we got Paul on this call. We might as well sneak in some more fun stuff that we've been building on Verse. So I'm gonna open up the burn engine and then share my screen, and maybe you can give us a bit of a play-by-play on what is the burn engine, how did the burn engine come to be, what is the goal of the burn engine, what are the current stats. I guess I can share some of that since I'll have my screen open. And yeah. Okay.
So the burn engine is a smart contract, and it allows us to, it allows the verse holders to be able to actually burn verse. So you could just do it the normal boring way of sending verse to a zero address on Ethereum, just like you'd burn any other token. But this way, it allows users to send into this contract if they want to contribute to burns. And there's two parts to it. So they can either like contribute, which is just sending verse to the contract, or they can trigger a burn. And what that is the user pays a small amount of verse and to actually trigger the burn engine, and then the burn engine will burn all the verse that's sitting in it. So there's 13,000 verse sitting in the burn engine now. If Corbin was to trigger, he can burn all of that verse. This kind of ties into what we're doing with our like buyback and burn program, and like swap fees, for example. We just dump them straight into this burn engine contract. And then it's up to our users to choose and decide when to actually burn that verse. So since the beginning of time, we've burned 7.8 billion verse since first came out a year and a bit ago now. We've made these statistics to show you the different like burn triggers that we've done, and then each of those burn triggers contains like contributions. So if you scroll down a little bit, Corbin, you can see the list down the bottom. So look at this big one. We've had a bunch of different contributions. So that 5.2 million, the 18K, that would have been coming from our SSR contract, supply reduction contract address. And those 2.9Ks, I'm assuming they're just like some of our users that's decided to contribute to the burn. And then the final transaction at the top with the little flame emoji, that looks like it was a user that went in and actually burnt it. So that wasn't like an admin burn, it wasn't one of our team that did it, that was one of the first users.
Oh, and someone just deposited $10 worth of verse into the burn engine. So now it's got $14 of verse in the burn engine. And this just kind of accumulates over time. Like usually people aren't really rushing, to like burn $14 because of the gas fees. But occasionally once you start seeing, a few $1,000 worth of verse sitting in the burn engine, you trigger a burn, this engine comes to life and it animates and does some cool stuff. I guess we could do a live burn here. Hang on. Let me screen share. Let's do it. Okay, so first you do have to approve the spending of verse, because it does cost, of course, 10,000 verse to actually ignite the engine, which of course goes back into the engine for subsequent more burnings, which is kind of fun. So I've just confirmed the use of 10,000 verse by the contract to basically say, hey, burn engine contract, you can use it. I allow you to do this. And now we're doing the approved transaction. You can see the engine's coming back to life. It's starting to light up like it's going to do something. And now I pay the 10,000. So I'm actually like triggering the burn at this point by paying the 10K fee. And then, so it's 10K fee plus, of course, the ETH gas. So you do typically want to And there we go. So the engine is lighting up. And we've just burnt $18 worth of verse from the total circulating supply. And this will then update in the stats as well to then show more burns. Burns are fun. So it's kind of a fun, the burn engine's like it's a fun tool for community participation within the Bitcoin.com ecosystem to kind of watch what's happening with verse. For context, the token has 210 billion tokens in the contract. However, the existing circulating supply is only like, I don't even remember what the current number is. It's like not a lot. Maybe Mark might have the numbers on hand, but it's basically the contract releases tokens from the minting contract that over time. So basically there'll be a increasing supply over 7 years to get to that 210. But you can see based on the burn engine that of the circulating supply, we've actually burned 28.7% of the whole circulating supply and 3.5% of the total supply. So over the next 7 years, the token supply will grow, but this allows us to support more ecosystem initiatives, whether that's LP across exchanges, or we've also got the development fund for us to fund interesting and useful new dApps and projects that use verse and that grow the ecosystem. And of course, there's the team allocation and all of these. And then there's also the sale A and sale B, which were part of the token sales. So it's kind of an interesting project for those who are interested in tokens and how verse ties into all the dApps that we're doing. Basically, everything that we build supports bringing in some revenue in verse. Whether that's generating fees or doing some buybacks, but it does end up back in this burn engine where users have the ability to burn it and forever reduce the supply of verse. Once it's burned, there's no coming back. It's a one-way street. It's gone forever, and then the total supply goes down. So it's kind of a fun little bit of gamification of burns, which are a pretty common thing now in different tokens and cryptocurrencies. So maybe a final update for everyone. What's your favorite feature of verse, Joel? Wider verse. What's the thing that you're enjoying these days? Maybe if it's something new that you guys are working on, feel free to leak as well.
I think my favorite feature in the verse ecosystem would be the swaps. So we do have a decentralized exchange on the Verse deck, on the verse.bitcoin.com site, that you can head over to swap tokens that you're holding into Verse or the reverse. So there are some options there that it's a alternative to a centralized exchange. So with a decentralized exchange, you are in control with your tokens, and if you prefer to do the decentralized swap route, feel free to do so on the swaps site on our on first.bitcoin.com. So with any DEX, there are also pools involved. So if you wish to provide LP for additional yield, feel free to hop in there to provide liquidity for the pairs of your choice. I believe there are also active farms that are going on right now, and that's also an opportunity for you to earn extra yield on some of the incentivized farms that we have put out. Okay, just to wrap up, there's also the staking feature on our site where you can deposit Verse to earn some additional yield. So all these are very, very interesting to me because I like earning money with DeFi. So if you like that too, feel free to hop in to deposit LP, get into our farms, and also in staking.
Yeah, making money with crypto is quite fun. A little bit more competitive than some of the rates that you'll see in TradFi, and what's fun is it's all done through smart contracts and stuff like that. So it's a fun way to kind of just play around with crypto. I think just a reminder for anyone viewing this, just be careful what contracts and dApps you're connecting to. There's a lot of scams out there. Don't click unknown links. One of the good things I would say with Verse is that it is associated to Bitcoin.com, which is a very trustworthy name in Bitcoin and crypto. So you visit verse.bitcoin.com, you're getting to a legit DeFi project. Smart contracts, they do get hacked, just like exchanges, just like banks get robbed. These things can happen, but we've got security audits across all of our contracts, and we practice really good developer best practices to ensure that the things that we release are good, functional, user friendly, and safe for anyone to play around with. But it's crypto, so just make sure you're only playing with money you're able to afford. So Mark, Paul, either you guys want to jump in? What's your favorite thing you guys are working on Verse right now? Whether that's current stuff that's already existing or any new things that you're hyped up about for the Verse ecosystem.
I think just our kind of dApp ecosystem that we're building out, the smaller projects, like you have Scratcher and the NFT project. But I think we can figure out a way to ship faster, which I think is really nice. I think going forward we'll have more of these smaller projects that will be able to pump out and then see if people like them or see if they want improvements. And I think that kind of cycle, I think that's what I'm mostly bullish on, because we have our first launch group. We get a lot of feedback on what works, what doesn't work. And just if you take Scratcher as an example, there's a lot of feedback we got from the first run that we did. So in a month we were able to add so many improvements on that, re-release it, see if it works better, see if people like it better, and then we can keep going. So I'm just bullish in the next year on whatever we on a dApp layer, whatever we bring out, whether it's Scratcher, Clicker, NFT project, there's a lot of stuff in the pipeline.
Yeah. Paul, you want to jump in? What's got you hyped up for Verse? What are you happy to be working on, building, excited for in the future?
Bit of everything. So I jump around a few different projects. So I'm kind of excited about it all. Joel kind of stole my one. My favorite thing in the Verse ecosystem at the moment is staking, because it's just easy way to passively earn extra money. And you only need Verse and a little bit of gas to be able to get into the staking contract. So if you're not planning on spending Verse or selling it or anything, chuck it in a staking contract and just passively earn that 5.63% APY.
Yeah, and to date there's already 738,000 Verse. $738,000 worth of Verse. 21. Is that 21 million? No, that's 21 million is my total Verse. But yeah, over $700,000 worth of Verses in this contract. Last time I checked, it's over 630 unique addresses that are participating in Verse staking. So that includes people from the Verse ecosystem, but also from the Bitcoin.com ecosystem. And yeah, we are launching Verse staking within the Wallet app, which I think is going to be a big one for just introducing more people from the Bitcoin.com ecosystem to what we're building here in Verse.
Yeah, so that was probably my favorite thing. The next thing that we've currently got in the pipeline is trying to make our Verse Explorer in the app a lot more user friendly and a lot more usable.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm excited to get that going, because I don't know if you've ever used any other apps with dApp browsers. They're all pretty janky. So
yeah, Web 3 sometimes feels a bit like Web 1, It's we talk a lot about how Web 3 is the future, but oftentimes you're using some Web 3 dApps and it's it's not quite the most sexy experience, but we would like to get to sexy. I think we're on our way to sexy.
Giving away my age, it kind of feels like I'm using a Netscape and Navigator right now.
Yeah, exactly. We'll figure it out, man. I think the Web3 browser is going to be a big core part of Bitcoin.com wallet and the future of Verse. And I think it's going to be the big thing that helps onboard, the 47 million wallets within the Bitcoin.com ecosystem to Verse, and to all the cool things that developers like you guys are all working on. So I'm very excited just for seeing the team all come together, rally behind Verse. Opening up Verse to more communities, I think, is another big one. At least for crypto in the current space, communities are probably the big reason why crypto stays relevant in the bear markets or in the bull markets. Like, if you don't have that community, oftentimes the bear markets feel a little quiet and a little lonely. But if you have a decent community and decent people coming in that like participate and like the things that are being built, both technically or from like a design perspective or from a user first perspective, it's like a great opportunity for just maintaining some good vibes regardless of what market sentiment is doing. And I mean, like, I think for a lot of people, they come into crypto looking for, you know, green charts, a number go up. But I think for other folks that are just like really curious about, you know, what is money? How do we make rewards or tokens or new chains more useful to more people? You know, I think that path is a lot more sustainable for like developers or builders or people that are just more technically curious about, you know, cryptocurrency. And I think the things that we're doing here, it all helps support that. And, you know, if we can tap into, you know, the Polygon community like we have been with the Ethereum community, and who knows, maybe we'll be adding Verse into more chains and welcoming more and more people to participate in different chains and different projects to come play around with Verse. And maybe there's some partnership opportunities there as well. So yeah, I think we're approaching 1 hour at this point, guys. We did pretty good. We got through the Clicker campaign, $888 worth of rewards for the top 25 leaderboard position. So if you can click your way to the top, play some games, use the scratch and win tickets to boost your points and climb those leaderboards faster, unlock more rewards, and maybe you might even win a jackpot on the scratch and win tickets, which would potentially win you up to $3,000 worth of our Verse token. Of course, there's different prizes within that NFT as well. So the scratch and wins, you can win, you know, 100,000. I think there's a 500,000. There's a few other pieces on the way up to the jackpot. So you know, you can do decent if you get lucky. So go try those things out. Try out the Bitcoin.com wallet app over at wallet.bitcoin.com if you haven't used that. It's fully self-custodial. Practice best security. Don't click links. Don't trust strangers. If they tell you they're going to make you a bunch of money, you know, they're probably lying and going to steal your money. So just, you know, don't be foolish with your crypto. Hold your money, not your keys, not your coins. And yeah, go visit verse.bitcoin.com. Participate in our Lunar New Year. It expires when, Joel? February? What's the date? When do we pull the plug on this thing?
I think it's 20th of Feb for the Clicker Lunar New Year campaign.
Lunar New Year campaign goes till when? Sorry, my internet might have busted out on you.
20th of Feb.
Okay, yeah, I just see it here. February 20th at 7 a.m. I assume that's UTC. So yeah, you got plenty of time to start clicking. It's only day 2 of this campaign. So get in there, go play some games, do some scratch and wins, try out DeFi, try out Verse. And yeah, you can swap into Verse inside the Bitcoin.com wallet using any currency. So if you've got Bitcoin, you can swap into Verse on Polygon or Verse on Ethereum. If you do want to use the scratch and wins, though, you got to make sure you swap into Verse on Polygon, as that's the chain where you can do all the fun NFT good stuff. So play around, have some fun. Follow us on Twitter or X at Verse Ecosystem. And yeah, if you've got a million Verse, come verify in the Verse Lounge and come join and hang out in Telegram, where all the goofs, including me, are going to be hanging out, where we talk about all the cool things we're building. So I think that's it for now, guys. See ya. Thanks, guys.
See ya.